Well, welcome everyone to another episode of the Achieving the American Dream podcast. Today I have a special guest, Tanner with Remax Suburban
Yes.
out of Crystal Lake in Algonquin. And he came in here today. We were doing a down payment assistance seminar today for both realtors and their clients. So we went through all the different options there are for people, and we just wanted to have a little conversation with you guys about where we're at in the current market and try to get you guys into the idea of buying a house instead of renting, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I was just talking about this, I think yesterday with somebody, how it would be more beneficial, and you can clarify this if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
They were saying it was more beneficial to go through an FHA to get some sort of down payment assistance compared to a conventional loan. And then on on the opposite side of that, it doesn't, when you're looking to accept an offer,
Right.
that's the irony of the thing. You are looking for more so conventional because you're more comfortable with those.
Right. No, I absolutely get what you're saying. So here at Guaranteed Rate, I mean, it's my job. I've been doing this for 24 years, and the loan officers that work for me at the branch, same amount of years. I think combined, we're at like 80 years experience at this branch.
Right.
That's how we're closing loans in like clearing loans to close in like 5 to 10 days.
It's incredible,
Stuff.
right?
It's just happened so fast here. I think people think they have to do all their research on their own and find their down payment assistance program or what they should use. They really don't. Everything here at Guaranteed Rate, we have about 15 different programs that we look through. Some are conventional financing programs, some are FHA. Some you have to be a first-time home buyer. Some you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You can actually be a repeat home buyer and get down payment assistance. Some have income limits, like certain income limits, like 140% of the area median income is one of them where, for a household that's like 155,000, you have to make underneath that limit in order to get it. That's just one particular one. There's other programs that we have. We have about 3 others that have no income limits whatsoever. Like I said, some are conventional products and some are FHA products. The range of assistance is anywhere between 5% of the purchase price, which will cover the 3.5% down payment plus some of the closing costs. Um, some are structured where they're like they're second mortgages that you have to make a payment on. Some are forgivable, where you don't have to make a payment on them. And we have a lot of them that are just true grants, just true free money.
Right. Because everybody gets the idea that when you borrow that money, you got to pay it back, and
No.
a grant is
Yeah,
that's forgivable.
these are grants,
Right.
and the one particular one that we have called Home Ready First, that one is up to $8,000 in a grant. That one's a
Incredible.
conventional loan.
That could be all the closing costs.
Yeah, you only have to put 3% down, and you get 8,000. So yeah, it could cover a lot. The other nice thing is normally when you put anywhere between 5 to 3% down, the agency's limit on how much the seller can assist in paying closing costs, they usually limit that to 3%.
Right.
With this particular grant, you can do up to 5%. So I've done many of these where people get the closing and they actually don't need any money whatsoever at all because the $8,000 covered the down payment. They got closing costs paid by the sellers.
It's huge.
Ended up not needing any money at the closing.
Yeah, they can use that money to rehab the place, renovate it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So
we
basically,
give them that 8,000 plus on top of that. At the closing, we're going to give them a $500 credit for the appraisal they paid for.
really?
Yeah. On top
Okay.
of that.
Okay. Free money. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting how you guys tailor and there's obviously a lot of options as far as lenders, but it's very cool how you guys tailor accordingly, whether it's an FHA or conventional. You guys make it the best of the FHA or the best of conventional, whatever you guys are offering, so that it looks like a great offer to the seller,
Right.
to get the contract accepted.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, the key, getting the contract accepted. We're in a very competitive market. The nice things about all our grant programs is they're all underwritten in-house. There's no third-party approval, and there's no need to notify the seller. So when the seller is getting the pre-approval letter, we're closing these loans just as fast as anyone, someone putting 20% down, we're closing this loan just as fast. And the pre-approval letter is either going to say just a regular standard, FHA pre-approval letter or a conventional pre-approval letter. It's not going to say subject to down payment assistance because it's really not. We already have that all figured out here at Guaranteed Rate. It's all underwritten internally, and there's no third party that needs to get involved to approve it. And the seller doesn't need to sign anything or anything like that. So there's no reason really you don't really have to mention it to the seller because it's not going to affect them in any way.
Right. I mean, if there's multiple offers and you're worried about your offer not being accepted or misunderstood, the fact that you guys call I mean, for depending on how the
Yeah,
transaction is settled, whether they want the communication or not, I think
right.
it's a huge benefit to make those phone calls. And you're saying,
Oh,
hey, this is what
absolutely.
our client has, this is what we're offering, because
Yep.
the realtor may not understand because us as realtors, we have other things in our minds,
Right.
whether it's the home or all these things going
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
That's why we leave it to the professional.
Well, yeah, exactly. Especially, it's important that your lender is going to pick up the phone and call the listing agent once you make an offer
Mhm.
to not only express, that we've looked at everything, tell them our experience, our track record is perfect. You look at our
Mhm.
reviews, are absolutely stellar. But not only that, but tell them that we can actually meet these dates that we're presenting in the contract, because a lot of realtors, when they get the dates for the contracts that I tell that we can do,
Yeah.
they're like, no way can you do that fast. I'm like, yeah, we can.
Don't you have
We,
the same day pre approval?
same day mortgage.
You
So
guys just
so yeah, we pre-approve people, and we also underwrite them in advance, so they get a better letter than just a pre-approval letter. They get
Mhm.
a letter to show that shows that they have a loan commitment already up front to lend.
Mhm.
Much stronger pre-approval letter when the seller's comparing letters. But on top of that, I'm going to call that listing agent, and I'm going to say, I know the closing is next Friday. You probably are thinking that's too fast.
Mhm.
That's not too fast. I mean, we'll have the appraisal within 5 days, and our average clear to close right now is 7 days. From the time that we get the contract to the time that the loan is clear to close with the appraisal and everything,
Mhm.
average for this branch right now is 7 days since the beginning of
That's
the year.
incredible. I was just talking to
Yeah.
a client of mine. She's selling her house, and she's just very kind of overwhelmed. A lot of people are you jump into selling your home, and all of a sudden it's sold really quickly, especially in this market right now.
Hmm.
And I think it's really interesting because you obviously take your job super seriously. I do as well.
Right.
That's why when someone's going to list their home, I'm like, this can happen way faster than you think, especially with you guys. I'm not saying you're the problem, but it's actually
Yeah.
it's overwhelming sometimes how fast things can happen.
Yep.
So that's why I love that you take your job so seriously, and so do I. And we communicate to the people throughout the whole process so that they're not worried about what's happening. And in that 30 days, we just try to, whether it's 30 or 7, like you're saying,
Hmm.
whether it's an investor and all that sort of stuff,
Yep.
we just make them comfortable throughout the whole process.
Exactly.
And that's part of the
Exactly.
reason
And
why I like the way
yep.
that you are with knowing as much as you do, and they have that question. You're not like, hey, let me get back to you, making them worried.
Right. Right.
Um,
And that usually you said 30 days. That's like the industry standard,
right.
to close within 30 days. But we're changing the standard here at Guaranteed Rate. We came out with an app that's just absolutely revolutionary. It's called Rate. That's all you got to search is Rate.
Okay.
You look at
Rate.com or
just Rate. That's the name of the app.
okay. Oh,
Uh,
for the app. Okay.
yep. And it's everything can be done in that app. It is absolutely astounding the way it's set up. Obviously, you can get a pre-approval in like 15 minutes for a purchase. You can get a home equity line of credit. You can get homeowners insurance. You can get a personal loan. It's all there in the app. We also added an added value on top of that. We partner with Dr. Deepak Chopra, who's a wellness doctor, because this app, if you look at all the reviews, people are raving about it because it's an ad-free place to be able to go to get your content that you need for doing, things like nutrition and yoga, learning how to meditate. All of Dr. Deepak Chopra's instructors are all in this app, and they're recorded downtown at Guaranteed Rate every single day. New things, meditation sessions, yoga, and they're all
It's
videos that
just
are
free
all there,
value.
free, no ads, no nothing like that. The app is a place where you can apply for your loan. Obviously, you can sign all your loan disclosures. You can close your loan through the app. You'll get a notification if we need a pay stub or something like that, documentation wise. You'll get a notification on your
Hmm.
app saying, "Hey, upload this." You click what you need to upload. The camera will open. You take a picture of it. Done. It goes right to the
It's
underwriter.
amazing.
That's how we're doing stuff so extremely fast because everything's going directly from the app to the underwriter.
Right.
So
Right.
we're able to approve and clear things to close very quickly.
Right.
So
It's incredible.
yeah,
The things you guys are doing is it's
we're more like a tech company than a
right.
mortgage
I was
company. I've
just gonna
always said
say.
that. I mean, we're really leading the way in fintech and trying to make the rate app. We're trying to make like a member type of thing where it's free,
Hmm.
but once you're a member, you get access to all those things for personal wellness and financial wellness, all at the same time. The calculators on there are phenomenal. I mean, you just have to go ahead and install it in log and just hit calculators. You'll see so many different options for
Because
pie
I
charts,
love that.
graphs. If you add extra to your payment, when your mortgage was paid up, it's all there in the calculators that we
Right,
have
because
there.
people get overwhelmed with the fees, and they're like, "What is
Yep,
this fee?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not
yep,
exactly sure what that one is, but it's
yeah,
a detailed list." And I'm
yep.
sure, like I said, I'm a realtor. He's a lender. If there's certain particular questions you have about certain fees, I can almost guarantee you have the answer to it.
Absolutely, we do. We have all the answers, and a lot of the education is built into the app as well. So you'll see loan officers explaining to you like how to build your credit score.
Mhm.
That's a video in the app. There's how to save for down payment, even though you really don't even need the down payment nowadays to save. But there's different videos, financial videos in there as well from the wellness videos to learn all this stuff. If you guys, it's all there. It's a wealth of knowledge. It's really really neat. I
It's
guess.
really cool. There's a lot of clients, especially nowadays, for first-time home buyers. You assume they're younger. The technology that's available, a lot of older folks are overwhelmed with it, but
Hmm.
we're just adapting. There's a lot of changes that happen in the real estate industry, and it makes people
Yep.
more comfortable when they know things. And there's
Yep.
a lot of things that weren't explained back in the past or
Right.
couldn't be explained. Uh, that's why I love this job. You learn something new every day,
You do.
and you guys keep coming out with new stuff. So
Yep.
it's like,
Yep.
just got to stay on top of it, man. I think you
I,
are a
I mean,
genius.
a great example of it is I had an elderly couple that lived in California in a nice, beautiful home with their daughter. And they recently sold that home about 2 months ago. And they've been looking here in Illinois because they want to relocate back where their family is here in
Gotcha.
Illinois. So they're renting in California right now because the job doesn't transfer for a few months, but they're trying to secure a house here. So sight unseen, they made an offer on a home with their realtor using the iPhone and FaceTime.
Right, right.
They put an offer on a house. We got it under contract. They're still in California now. Remember, now it's been 20 less than 20 days, like 18 days. We're clear to close, and we can schedule the closing. Now, normally they're in California still, so normally we would have to send a remote closer to like their house because if they're going to be in California and they're closing an Illinois property, normally you come to a title company in Illinois and you sit there with the
Hmm.
sellers. Everyone's there around the table and you're signing, right?
Right.
Well, they're in California, so they couldn't do that. So what we were able to do, we have something called full e-note authority to be able to do online notary closings for a purchase. Like that's unheard of. Like
Notarize, online notarizing
yeah. So yesterday we all
to show
it was
pull up
at
your
noon.
certificate.
It was at noon. The young girl was on her cell phone. The mom was on her laptop. The dad had a tablet. I saw them all there because were in an online meeting, kind of like a Zoom meeting.
Right.
The notary shows up. They have to hold up their IDs to the camera,
That's
right?
incredible.
So they're all e-signing there in California, closing on a house over here in Lombard. Um, and within 25 minutes they were done, closed. Everything was done. Loan was funded. Wire was sent. All done electronically, and they're still over in California.
That's
It could
incredible.
even work for someone that's maybe on vacation, or two people that live in different locations.
Hmm.
One could be logging out in California, the other one could be logging out in Illinois. There could
So
be another one in
yeah,
Florida. There was three borrowers on that loan, and we did that all electronically.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I just ran into that. The buyers, the wife was working from Illinois. The husband went to Florida. So that would be a perfect scenario.
Absolutely. Military, VA, we do it all the time. There's people serving in our country right now. You don't even realize that we're closing loans while they're overseas.
Hmm.
It's through our email process. It's unbelievable the way we're able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other company that does it as well as us. I don't even know if any other mortgage company that's doing it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Um,
You don't hear this type of stuff, and I don't
yeah,
know if it's just because they don't
yeah.
have it or they haven't released it yet.
And
It's your
we
secret sauce.
this is not like a new thing. We've been doing this since
Right,
2020. So this is like perfected. It's perfect
right. It's
the way
really
it works.
interesting.
Yeah. So it's really really cool. So
Yeah, I got a question. I have a buyer. It's just I think he's around 30 years old. He's about he's going to be a first time home buyer, I
uh,
believe, and he's wondering if he's either going to go into a home or a condo. Are the down payment assistance available for homes and condos and things like obviously a purchase?
yeah.
Is
Yep.
there any restrictions with that?
There's not, especially the conventional one will work with any property type up to 4 units, condo as well. the 4 unit, I think I mentioned you only have to put 5% down on a 4 unit. Did I say that yet?
Okay. I think that was another meeting.
Yeah,
It's just you hear it
that
again and
just
it's
changed
sticking.
about a few months ago. You should have to put like 25% down to buy a multi-family
Yeah.
property, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you only have to put 5% down. Plus, I can get you $8,000 in down payment assistance, and we'll pay for the appraisal.
So
And now
my
you're living in a home that the 300 units are paying that mortgage payment. The FHA down payment assistance programs, those are going to require on a condo for it to be FHA approved or VA approved. So we have to
correct.
check that. There are a lot of townhouses around here that are classified as condos. It all depends if you own the land underneath the
Yeah,
property or not.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. They were saying like the condo, you don't
Uh,
own the land, but the townhouse, you own the land, and that
exactly.
way, that's why there's the HOA.
Yes.
So
Well,
it's
there could be an HOA with a fee simple where you own the land too.
sure.
It's just the way the builders built it. It's cheaper for builders to build them as condos
Okay.
rather than as individual lots. Um,
Yeah, it was
but
interesting. As you go through it, it's very interesting. The condo doesn't need a survey. I learned that because
there's no land.
there's no
It's all
land.
common
It's
land. Yeah,
just
yeah,
very interesting things as you run across,
yeah. Uh-huh.
deals. That's why I said every day you learn something new, and that's why I love this industry. So
Absolutely. But we do have to answer your question. We do have down payment assistance programs for every property type, every borrower situation. I guarantee we have a solution to help with the down payment. That should not be a hurdle. And sometimes some of these programs give so much as actually a spring. It helps you. It helps you because you're able to put more down than you're able to do. Even if you have a 20 or 30% down payment, sometimes you still, on top of that, will qualify for some of these down payment assistance programs. So we'll end up still giving you some money on top of that.
right,
Um,
this is
are you
Chicago,
seeing?
Chicago
There's two
Cubs fan.
questions I have.
It's a magnet.
Yeah, so
It's
so
fancy.
obviously we're real big in the sports here. So we have guaranteed rate fields. We have sock schedules, but we also have
Yes.
a couple suites at Wrigley Field as well.
Okay.
So we're fans of both. Obviously, our name is on the pretty plastered over the
Right, I know. I
Sox
got a
card.
buddy I have two buddies who are huge Sox fans. So
Yeah,
I'll have to bring them there.
yeah. I'll have to give you those. But if you ever want to go to a game, man, I mean, come on, let's
How many
do it.
games have you
Any,
seen? I gotta ask.
anytime you want to go.
Have
I
you
mean,
seen a lot?
I like to take my girls love going to
Yeah.
any baseball game. Brielle wants to be the first woman baseball player, she says. And she actually is probably good enough to do it. Now,
Oh man.
Jasmine's more of a creative one. My other daughter, who's
Sure.
she's while we're playing the baseball, Jasmine's recording us or something.
The tacky.
She's the content creator or the photographer, and then
Oh,
we have
that's
the
great.
baseball player. But no, yeah, I've taken a few times a year. Realtors there. We have suites and different options for going there. All you can eat, all you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
drink, and stuff like that. It's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
But
You were gonna ask me a question. You said.
yeah, so. Are you noticing millennials saying, "Well, I'm going to wait till rates come down in
You
my
know,
house"?
every time someone asks me how's the market, how's the real estate market, I keep hearing that because I feel like I
Yeah.
feel like they're asking me with the intention of me saying that it's going to be bad. Real estate's great. It's always great. The industry is great. It's booming because you're not going to want to put a negative precedence on something
Yeah.
because honestly, it depends on what side of the coin you're on. If you're a seller, it's great because you can sell your house in 3 days. If you're a buyer, it's a little bit more difficult. Uh, if you don't set yourself up correctly. That's why it's important to have the best offer
Hmm.
that is available. You
Yep.
got to go to the right lending company that knows the types of offers that you can offer to make yours stand out.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing. If someone has to move, it's not going to stop the people whether the interest rates are 100% or
Hmm.
2%.
Hmm.
If someone has to move, they have to move.
Right.
And what our goal is to make the best opportunity for them to get what they're
Right.
looking for. So that's
Exactly.
why it's so imperative for this to be shared with people. These assistance programs. I mean, no offense to you, I just don't see this as much on the internet as much. I wish more people knew
That's
about
what we're
this.
doing, man.
That's what I'm saying.
We're putting it out there.
Right? Because the
Yeah.
other realtors that see an offer and they're like, oh, if it's an
Yeah.
FHA, let's not even look at it. But if
Yeah.
they have these assistance programs or
Right.
things like that, it's beneficial to them and they don't
Or
even
I
know.
call that listing agent that says let's not even look at it and be like, hey, listen, we'll accept this contract this weekend. On Monday, I'll have the appraisal ordered. By Friday, I'll have the appraisal back, and then the next Friday we'll close the loan.
It's-
Compared to having to wait 30 or 45 days if you take some other offer, and
right,
that makes a difference to them, right?
right.
So But as far as
So yeah, so to answer your question, there
yeah,
is hesitation. There's definitely hesitation. There's
yeah,
the people that say they want to wait.
right,
I always say it's a great market,
yeah,
obviously, but I think it's more towards the industry standard. I obviously it's kind of like stocks. You can't tell if it's going to go up or down. If I
right.
had an opinion, I would say that I think five. I don't know why. I feel like that's going to be a good number. I feel like that's where interest rates are going to kind of settle to.
Hmm.
Whether I'm right or wrong,
You
that's just
might be
where I
right.
think.
Yep.
But I think that will be like the low low,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's
So
the new norm.
we're
That's
not
kind of
good.
what I tell people.
What we need to understand is you don't want to chase that 5% or wait for that 5% basically,
Right,
because this is the
right,
way it's
right,
going to
right,
work. So like
right.
if you buy a house now, say the house is worth, say it's a $200,000 house now, and you get it for 200,000. If you wait until rates come down to 5, that house is probably going to be 250,000,
Absolutely.
right? So what you need to do is buy the house now. Maybe the rate's 7%. It's probably going to be less than what you would be paying in rent. We'll get you down payment assistance, so you don't need any money to close. So why wouldn't you buy the house now? Start building your wealth. Each time you make a mortgage payment, you're putting the money into the walls of your house, so you're paying down your mortgage. It's like a different savings account. It's not, instead of making that rent payment, and where is that going?
Hmm.
That's going to the pockets of the landlord, right?
Right.
So that's not helping you whatsoever. the the easiest way to build wealth in this country is through real estate, because now you bought that house at $200,000 now, rather than waiting like the other person did. Maybe the other person waited 12 months and now rates are 5%. But the thing is, you can now renegotiate that rate down to 5%, and you bought the house at 200,000. The other person that waited to buy the house for 250 is now paying $50,000 more. Maybe they got 5%, but if you do the math, their payment's going to be way higher than what your payment's going to be, because you only had to buy the house for 200,000.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so ironic. The people are being more particular to what they want because they want to get the right house
Mm.
because their interest rates higher.
Yeah.
They just feel like there needs to be that value there, so they're hesitant, and so sometimes they'll be hesitant to make that offer on that house because they don't know if it's the perfect one,
Mm.
and that's the big thing. You don't want to just settle for a property, so they're a little bit more hesitant to buy the right home. So it takes a little bit longer as far as being a realtor. But what
Yeah.
happens is they'll wait, and they'll either lose the opportunity on that property because there's so little inventory, or they'll wait and they'll be like, oh, we'll just wait till next season. Or
Can't sleep on it.
right.
There's no
So
sleeping on it in this market.
there's that fine
Yeah.
line between not sleeping on it and finding the right property.
Right. Right.
So that's where we mesh. As
Exactly.
that's why you do what you do, and I
Yeah.
do what I do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm up most nights up until 10 o'clock at night. I'm always available, and all weekend long, and that's what I'm doing all weekend, is running different scenarios on different property addresses. Every property is different for people,
Hmm.
So and everyone wants to see what their payment's going to be and how much they're going to need to close before they make their offer, right?
Hmm.
So that's basically what I most of my day is updating those pre-approval letters, giving people different figures on different homes as they make offers, because you have to be resilient. You have to make a lot of offers in this market in order to get one under contract. And
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be the most perfect home. Everyone's like, oh, it's got to be everything I want.
Right, right.
So all these homes are upgradable, right? And we
And
have loan products
I
that
was
help
gonna
you do
say,
that.
let's just say you helped them
Yeah,
with a down payment assistant, and they
yeah,
had $8,000 in their pocket.
yeah,
You could get your whole house painted for sure,
yeah.
maybe some flooring and
Right,
stuff like that. Like the
right.
things that you had those issues with, the
There,
things that you're concerned about.
there's that, getting the down payment assistance, and then using the money you save to the renovations. There's also products and programs out there for you. Maybe you find a house in the perfect spot, but it's just not to your taste, obviously, or it's run down. You can get a contractor involved, and we'll give you the money to buy that house at whatever purchase price, probably a discounted purchase price that you're buying that house for, in the right location.
Hmm.
You get your contractor involved, have him send us a list of everything you want to make that house perfect. We'll add that amount that the contractor needs plus the purchase price, and you only have to put 3% down on that total amount. And now, within a month or two, or however long it takes to the contractor to complete the renovations, now you have the home that you always wanted. That's perfect. Everything that you imagined,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's in the right area. And now, guess how much more that home is worth now?
Right, and that's why it's so important to listen and be aware of what the client needs, and that's why
Yeah.
their concerns are what gives us an opportunity to help fix that. That's why with all these opportunities, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
I wish there was just a small graph, like a one-page thing that showed all the
Yeah,
different
that's
kinds.
all right here in
But
my
you're right,
head.
right. Just there's a phone number, just call
Yeah,
them.
call this guy. Go, install this app. Apply. We're not just we have this technology here, but we also have the loan officers on the other side of things. There's other companies that have technology that's online, and they'll show you some real low rate. They don't really disclose to you all the fees involved with that rate.
Mhm.
We're totally transparent, and we merge the technology with the experience, so you have the most perfect combination over here rather than going to an online lender that's going to show you this ridiculously low rate, and then who do you call? Like,
Mhm.
or it's a call center that you're calling, or
Mhm.
someone in India.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. The
saying,
team,
what?
the
I
team.
get a
That
question about my
I'll
mortgage.
transfer you to somebody else.
Yeah,
I'll transfer you
it's
to somebody else.
a mortgage, buying a house. You need a realtor. You need a experienced loan officer. You can't do these things on your own because there's going to be questions, and we need to be there to help guide you along the way, and that's our job, and we're
Mhm.
happy to do it. So
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when I was doing this listing, this lady was so concerned about what the bottom dollar was, and that's why I asked about that calculator because it's
yeah,
so imperative. I mean,
yeah,
obviously with things changing, with the lawsuit being settled and all that good stuff, it may.
yeah,
If I had one saying to say about that, I think let's just keep it as business as usual.
yeah,
I think if there's going to be a significant decline in appeal when there are the people who offer zero. We were just at a banquet meeting and this guy stands up. He's like, "What happens? There's someone who offered 0%
hmm
minus 495. So you're not only getting paid zero, but you're losing that 495." So I
yeah,
thought that was really funny. But it
yeah,
was a serious topic. Like
yeah,
that's actually happening,
yeah,
and it you lose your appeal to want to show that property, but it's just crazy. So
yeah.
if I had one thing to
But
say about
there,
that,
there,
let's keep it as usual.
it is usual. That's the thing. The media blows everything so out of proportion.
Right,
The
right,
lawsuit that was settled, and things are changing, with the DOJ and all this kind of
right,
other stuff. But basically, at this point, what it says is just the real estate commission that's being paid can't be listed in the multiple listing service for some reason. It can't be listed, but a
right.
seller can still pay a buyer's agent just like they used to, and
Hmm.
they should because no one's going to show their house unless there's some type of incentive for you to show
Right.
the house. So um,
Yeah, it was so hard for someone to sit there and ask you. She's like, "Well, why do I have to pay? Why do I have to pay?" And then it was funny because her daughter chimed in and she goes, "Well, I don't know if you realize this, but when you bought this house that we're standing in right now, you didn't pay a fee, right? You
right,
didn't pay a broker." And
right,
she's like, "Oh, so it's like
yeah,
it's like you don't even realize that's how it's always been, and
yeah,
that's how that's how we don't fix something that's not broken.
right,
That's my saying to all the other realtors. Just
yeah.
keep it as it was.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's not a huge change. It's just different, and the adaptation to that is key.
Yep.
Why I have to ask why is the house upside down?
Well,
I always
the
wonder
down
that.
arrows for low rates, down
Okay.
low, get down with us. That's one of our
I always
sayings.
wonder on the glasses.
Yeah,
Someone was asking me.
yeah.
He gave me okay. For
But
the
but it
record, he's
also
got glasses. He's got chapstick with guaranteed rate. I mean, it's like
yeah.
I'm surprised there's not houses with spray painted, guaranteed rate on the side
Yeah,
or
well,
something.
there probably is somewhere. I mean, go downtown, it's all on the bridges, it's on the
Right, right.
billboards, it's all over the field that we have. The
I was gonna
guarantee
say
rate
close.
field is
Right, right,
unbelievable with the branding. But we're good at that, and we're the second largest mortgage company in the country. We're the largest mortgage company in the Midwest, and we have the most experienced loan officers and teams here, and a support staff that is just absolutely amazing. Like we're able to clear these loans to close in 5 to 7 days and close in 2 weeks. It's just amazing the stuff we have here, and I'm very grateful for the owner of our company, Victor Tardelli, who offers this and built this amazing company. But this is definitely the place you want to be. You don't want to be an online lender. You don't want to be at a Quicken that's going to show you a low rate and have all these high fees that are hidden. Everything here is transparent. It all can be done through your cell phone, electronically, through the app. Everything that you need to do. It makes it a lot less stressful
hmm
on people and for both the buyer and the seller. That's our goal,
right,
is to make this process as easy as possible for people
right.
and give the same level of service for someone that makes $3 million a year to the person that makes 20,000 a year. We want the experience to be the exact same and the best for everyone.
Now, what would be the reason for somebody to want to close in 7 days? Now, because that can be overwhelming for the seller and the buyer. Now, that's
Sure.
obviously something that you offer? Obviously, I'm assuming it would be
Yeah.
more towards a vacant property type thing.
No, actually, the way we're doing it is so quick that we offer when we make when people make offers, we offer to close very quickly, so it reassures the sellers and it actually gets
Like
them
we're
their
ready to
funds
go, right?
right away. But then the we can offer for the seller to allow them to stay there for a certain period of time and rent back up to 60 days.
So they could literally close on the home while getting their stuff out because they needed that extra 20 days. But it's in paper that he owns the home, the rent back.
Right.
I mean, that's huge. That alone with the
That wins bids every
that
time.
alone with the contractor one is massive because the whole contractor thing, I don't think anybody knows about that. I
Right.
truly don't.
Hmm.
You're telling me, so if I was like, hey, I love this house, but the kitchen is terrible, or let's just
Yep.
say it was like a conventional loan because if it's an FHA, it needs a lot, whatever, and it needs
No,
a lot of
we have
work.
both conventional and FHA renovation loans. We have six different renovation products and VA up
It's
to 4 units.
it's interesting because usually the FHA that aren't approved for FHA is because of like the peeling paint.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what the so when it's an FHA, there's a contractor and then there's something called a HUD consultant,
okay,
and he's going to make sure that everything the contractor has on his list to be done will bring the house to standards of FHA.
so this is done before closing
Yeah,
the
this is all
work.
done during the processing of the loan. Yeah.
Wow.
A renovation loan we can close like in about 30 to 40 days.
All right.
As long as the contractors, get us the paperwork, because we have to check out the contractor too. We're not just going to give them a whole bunch big check without making sure checking their references and things like
Right,
that.
right. Has it ever happened where they did the construction and then the loan falls apart, or the like the you
The
know?
construction doesn't start until the loan closes.
Okay,
So once the loan closed, then what happens is this disbursement goes out to the contractor. They get half of the funds up front to buy all the materials and do the work.
okay.
Once the work's done, the other half is paid.
So it can be closed as an FHA still that needs that
Without,
work
yeah,
done.
exactly.
Really? So it can
Yes,
still
yes.
close without the
Yeah, because
wow.
the HUD consultant's going to sign off and saying, as long as the
As
contractor
long as
fixes
it's
all these
done.
things, it will be. And we're also going to appraise the house based on it being done.
Wow.
So that's what we're going to
Yeah, I'm like, how does that work? I'm like, take a break. Take a break.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
because that
gosh.
house is going to be worth a lot more when it's done.
Wild. Yeah, no, that's really, really interesting. That's what I'm saying. I'm learning this stuff, and that's why there's you. That's why there's me, and a lot that goes into learning. I mean, I've been in this industry for I think 7 years now, since 2017. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
7 years, and it's just crazy,
You
man.
learn something new every day,
Yeah.
and everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So that's my motto here.
How long have you been doing this? You said
24 years
24
now.
years.
Yeah,
Right.
yep.
It's almost as old as me, man.
Yeah, since I
Not
was
to age you,
19.
sorry. I just
Yeah.
no, that's cool, man.
Well, I'm not that old. I think I'm
Right,
43 or
right.
something. So,
No, you're still hip. You're still cool. We hang out.
yeah.
The
But I
no,
appreciate you coming in, and I think, like you said, we need to get this out there. No one knows it, but the problem is no one's going to sit here and watch a 30-minute
a
video of
30-minute
us.
video. Right,
But
right,
we're going
right,
to try to send out good snippets of what we've talked here to try to get the word out to you
right. I
guys.
just think maybe there needs to be a way that it's easier for the people to like embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Not because not everybody. Because there's literally people on the fence that are like I have no money to put down for the construction. I can only afford a home that's $100,000 that needs a crap ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their hesitation. That may be why they don't want to do the 7%. But if
Mm-hmm.
someone's like, hey, like we can help you with an FHA, like I didn't even think of that to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like however whatever that loan type is called, what is that?
Renovation products. So
Renovation
what we
product.
have,
Right.
like I said, FHA and conventional. The conventional is called home style. The FHA is called 203K. You may have heard that, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And we have VA renovation as well. So yeah, there's many different products and programs, and you can put as little as FHA. The minimum down payment's 3.5%. Conventional, the minimum down payment's 3%. So you can do that on a renovation loan.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's
That's
really really
so
good.
huge.
I mean, the way to build wealth in this nation is to get those renovation loans. Live in the house for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then don't sell the house you're leaving. Rent the house you're leaving out, and then do another renovation loan for the next house, and then just keep building that real estate portfolio
Right.
until you get to a level where, by the time you retire, you're going to have an income stream from all these rental properties that you own.
Right. And you guys are in all how many states?
All 50 states.
All
Yeah,
50
yeah, we can help
states.
wherever you're at. We can help. Yeah, absolutely.
Hawaii?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are you
Yeah,
really?
yeah. We do a lot of VA in Hawaii. We got a great office there. Yeah, we have
Oh,
locations everywhere, all 50
oh,
states as well.
that's
Yep.
cool. That says a lot about the company.
Yeah, I mean, we're the like I said, the second largest. The competitor in front of us, you may know the Rocket Term. That person, that place, they spend a lot of money on commercials, to get people
Right.
into their site and stuff. But again, you're kind of working with call center people, not locally. Real estate's really a
Right.
local transaction. You really need to have the right people on your side, the right attorneys, the right home inspectors, the right insurance agents, the right realtors, the right lender
I
team.
have two questions. Do you offer companies offer free refinancing or
Yeah.
like yeah.
So let me explain to you how that works. And we absolutely offer that no cost refinance option to people. But we lay out on the table the differences because you could do a refinance with paying closing costs and your rate might be a quarter better doing that.
Mm,
Because those no cost refinances, all they're doing is they're raising the interest rate up a little bit compared to where the market is to cover
okay.
those costs. Because if you think about it, a title company needs to be involved. They still need to get paid.
Right.
If it needs an appraisal, which sometimes we don't, but if it does need an appraisal, the appraiser still got to do work and get paid.
Hmm.
So people have to get paid somehow, right? Nothing in life is free,
Right.
right? But there are scenarios and times where you want to do the no cost refinance. Here's an example. You're only going to live in the house for 3 or 4 years. So why would you pay the fees to get a lower rate when you're only going to make 60 payments and then you're going to be leaving that house?
Hmm.
Everyone gets a 30-year fixed mortgage, the most affordable payment. No one is ever in a loan for 30 years, ever, the same mortgage. You're always going to refinance that at some point or whatnot. But if I'm going to stay in this is the last time I'm going to refinance, I'm going to stay in this house for the next 20 years, then a no cost refinance probably is not the right math and doesn't work out the best for you. You probably want to go with that quarter to a half% better in interest rate because over that 20-year period, it's better if you pay the $1,500 in costs because you got such a much lower rate.
Hmm.
And it's going to save you so much more interest because you're going to be in that loan for the next 15 to 20 years. We have to think about those things when we're thinking about what type of refinance we should do. The
Hmm.
difference with us is we don't just advertise, oh, no cost refinance, and everyone gets the same thing, gets the
Right.
higher rate, and doesn't pay the cost. We're being transparent and showing you all these different options so you know exactly, so you can decide what is the best route for you to go rather than someone else deciding for you.
Right. And that's huge.
Yeah,
So I'll have you call this guy and maybe set something up as far as him being a first time home buyer, and
yeah,
we'll just run him through the process.
let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's many different ways we can gather the information that we need to figure everything out. Doesn't cost anything to figure anything out. You're not paying a dime to do anything. Another huge thing, we're not going to do a hard pull on your credit either. So that's another thing to keep in mind. It's not going to affect your credit score whatsoever to figure out your options. It's a soft credit pull, so everyone's worried about, oh, they're going to run my credit, my score is going to go down. Nope, not the case. Once you get the house under contract, yeah, then we're going to have to do a hard pull. But we have a great idea of where your score is at by the soft pull process, which does not affect your score.
It's huge, right? A lot of people are worried about that,
Yep.
especially if they're right on the cusp there of
We
the
got everything
600.
figured out here. So
Right.
we
I'm
have all the
telling you.
right answers. So you just need to, make the call to Tanner or myself, and we're definitely going to be here to take care of you. We've been doing it here in our community for so long, and that's what our passion is. That's what we love doing. So we
Hmm.
love seeing people be able to build wealth through real estate. That's what we're here for. And
I always say, man, the biggest thing, like you're so authentic with what you say and how you perceive other people perceive you, how you let them perceive you, and that is where a relationship grows because when someone realizes what you're saying is true and authentic,
yeah,
that is the biggest bond of whatever, whether it's business or love or whatever. It's real,
yeah,
and people feel that.
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's not like you're in any rush to do this or rush to make anything happen. It's all on your guys' terms,
yeah,
and we're just here to help.
yeah.
We're there
Love
just
hearing that. I love the reviews. If you look at the reviews on our sites, the things that people say, and the stories they write
it
out
makes
in the
it makes me
reviews, it's
laugh.
awesome. You
It
know,
is some of the funniest stuff, man. Being
yeah,
called Superman or
yeah, yeah, right,
it's like,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of them are, people that say, I never thought I could buy a house. I didn't know that until I talked to Jerry. That type of stuff is really cool to hear. I
right,
don't want to see us become a nation of renters. Like I said, the easiest way and the fastest way to build wealth in this nation is through real estate. So let's stop paying the landlord and build your own wealth, right?
right,
So this is the way to do it.
right.
We got the answers and the tools to be able to get you into the house. We're happy to do it. So,
Yep.
well, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
We
It's been a
appreciate you
pleasure.
coming. I know.
Appreciate you, and